ask you a question. All right, so in fact, before I come across to you, let me first go across to our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami. Arnab, you led campaigns in both these cases. It's a Monday morning in which the Supreme Court is showering hope on its people because in both the cases, the orders have been stayed by the benches.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. In fact, I would say I'm quite cynical about what direction this is going to take, because the Supreme Court has not clarified what happens to the hundreds of licenses that have allegedly been given between its last order and in a great hurry till the second or end of the beginning of the third week of December. So the fact is that there were about 100 licenses, I'm told, which were given out in a tremendous hurry when this matter had come into public attention, and the Supreme Court should have used the opportunity today to clarify what happens to those. Now, after that, the government says we are not going to give any further licenses. The government does not clarify what happens now to the licenses that have been given. The Supreme Court does not clarify what happens to the licenses which have been given. The first and most important thing, if you're going to acknowledge that there has been a mistake which has been made, we begin with a presumption that with the highest of respect to the courts, the bench led by Chief Justice Gavai disregarded the views of Senior Advocate K. Parmeshwar.
Yes.
Disregarded the precautionary principle. The amicus curiae opposed the definition. They made all the changes and with a sense of great hurry decided that FSI criteria is not important, ecological concerns are not important. And now if the court is saying that now we will take into account the ecological concerns, now if the court is saying we are going to put up a committee to look further into the matter, my question and the question of everyone watching this program should be, my lords, what are you doing? What about the licenses which have been given? What if there are some people who opportunistically have taken advantage and given the licenses between the 16th of November and 15th of December? What happens, my lord, to those licenses? You see, we begin with a presumption that the government made mistakes. The court made mistakes.
Yes.
The government seemed to give precedence to the mining industry rather than to environment and civilizational considerations. The government took the view of requirement of redefinition where it was not required. And Mr. Harish Salve, no less, has come and told us that the redefinition was not required. The government made no new mining leases decisions belatedly after public pressure. Though new licenses were allegedly issued right after the decision of the Supreme Court. Now, on the 24th of December, the government says no new mining licenses will be given in the Aravalis. Right? My question is, what about the licenses which have been given in the last 1 month? If the judgment that allowed those licenses to be given is incorrect, and if those licenses were given, taken advantage of the 100-meter rule, I don't know, the government should clarify, the Supreme Court should clarify, because if we relied on a non-scientific 100-meter height criteria, which has been strangely borrowed from the Rajasthan mining rules, rejecting the FSI's 3-degree slope definition, despite its ecological validity, then the nation would want to know from the Supreme Court of India that what are you doing with the licenses which have been given? Here was an extant opportunity for the Supreme Court, Abhishek, to come up with a clarification that we are going to go into the matter in depth, but we will also look at the fact that whatever happened in this period, now we pause it. What happened in that period in between? We have shown here that mining mafia influence is there. Bribes are given despite boundary violations. And we need to know what will the Supreme Court do to acknowledge the possible misuse of the removal of the addition of the 100-meter criteria definition. Some people took advantage of it. And therefore, if you ask me, am I happy? I'm happy and unhappy. I am tremendously happy that the Aravali order has been held in abeyance because it was a wrong order. It was a faulty order. But I am not happy because the order which was given on November 20th, 2025, days before Chief Justice of India Gavai's retirement, you have years of hearings, you have a lot of issues which are there, unresolved those issues, you go and give an order. Now you've given an order, in the interim, why were licenses given in a hurry? A matter is heard for years. A judgment is given and in 2 weeks or 20 days of the judgment, hundreds of mining licenses are given.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to those mining licenses now? Are those mining licenses also now put in abeyance? This is the critical question. The focus should be now to the licenses which have been issued post the Supreme Court decision. Is it true that over 120 licenses were auctioned in late November, early December? Activists are saying the licenses were given after the Supreme Court order. Would those licenses be valid today? Or would you say, no, we will only look at prospectively and not retrospectively? If that case, why not retrospectively? It is impossible that the mining work would have begun or any of those companies would have invested large amounts of capital. They can take you to court and say, my lord, we've already made investments.
But if those mining leases were for mountains below 100 meters, then those auctions become infructuous because the court order is stayed.
So we need that clarification.
Yes, but the court is silent.
We need to know that if there were new licenses which were issued in the Aravali region post the Supreme Court order, we would like the Honorable Chief Justice of India to come in and tell us, is that true or not true? If you are saying today that those are true, okay, licenses were given, then we would demand for a review and suspension of all new licenses post this new Supreme Court order. The Supreme Court order itself is an acknowledgement of the fact that the court understands that Justice Gavai's order was maybe not totally correct to do. And that's a great acknowledgement. I admire the court for having admitted its fault. But my lords, please acknowledge the role of Republic and the media in doing so. We have guided you in this. My lords, you are the ones who are in wisdom. You are the wisest. You are the wisest, you have the knowledge, you have the ability, you have the opportunity, and you can call people to account. My lord, call people to account. My lord, Justice Suryakant, call people to account. Justice Suryakant, look at this fresh angle. Were there new licenses given, my lord? My lord, why would you not ask whether licenses were auctioned in the
documents? They have been.
My lord, why would Justice Suryakant not ask why were licenses auctioned in the first 2 weeks of December? What was the hurry, my lord? What was the hurry? How many licenses were given? Now, after that, if the government is giving a no license directive, nothing. Why was there a hurry? My lord, my questions are to the court. There were a flurry of licenses which were auctioned. If so, I ask, what happens to those licenses now? What happens to those licenses? What happens to the mining licenses which were issued post the 2012 verdict?
Yeah.
Is that also put in abeyance or not? Otherwise, we are in a strange situation where we would be saying that, the verdict has been put in abeyance, but the consequences of the verdict in material terms is not put in abeyance. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Someone or the other is going to raise this question. We are told that hundreds of mining licenses were issued between the 2011 Supreme Court verdict and when the government came out with an order and a press release saying no new licenses, which was on when? 24th of December. Now, my question is, what happens to the licenses which were given? Were new licenses given? Where do those licenses stand in virtue of this new order, which is self-critical to an extent? But you can't say that the new committee will have no say on what those old licenses were. In fact, I would say the new committee should look at what those old licenses were.
Yeah.
Am I right? Does it make sense?
Absolutely. And we don't know the composition of the new committee as yet.
No, we don't.
Who decides who's going to be on the committee? Would the Supreme Court have a supervisory function over it or not? How much time the committee would take? Because the next hearing is on Jan 21.
My question is, Abhishek, on the license rush. There was a license rush. Was there a license rush after Justice Gavai's verdict? Especially as the questions began to get asked, did the rush become greater? Did some people feel, oh my God? Was it an OMG moment? Oh my God, it's the media, it's Republic, it's everyone's questioning it. God knows if responding to public criticism, this will be put into review. So let's quickly push out hundreds of licenses.
100%. That is
Why would, it's a logical question. The December auctions should become central to the scrutiny of the court. And if the court is not going to put the December auctions under scrutiny, then the court of public opinion will ask, my lord, what happened to that? I think it is the first thing which the court should clarify even now. Otherwise, who got those licenses? Were they big companies, small companies, mid-sized companies, individuals? If the mining doors were thrown open post the verdict, should those also not be suspended pending the final decision? Is that a logical question? Abhishek,
But
Very logical. It's a corollary, and I think
I'm surprised that we have not contacted the environmental groups which may have a fairly fundamental response to this question.
some of the guests on the show were actually speaking about this today itself. Today, it was not raised in the Supreme Court. I think today, when the Supreme Court came, Arnab, they had quite prepared what they had to say.
No, the Supreme Court, in what way were they prepared?
They were prepared means the Solicitor General just spoke a few lines and the Supreme Court started dictating the order.
So the Supreme Court already decided that we'll come in and we'll ask for a committee to be formed for this thing to be put in abeyance. Have we got Justice Gavai's reaction to this? Because it will be quite a blow to him, this decision. I think we should speak to him. I appreciate Justice Gavai speaking to us last time, though I don't think he could hold his own very well in light of the questions which have been asked, which is entirely my subjective judgment. But my question is, hundreds of clearances were there in weeks.
No.
There was, Arnab is questioning the license rush post the last CGI decision. I am asking, was there, question one, were licenses given?
Yes.
Two, how many licenses were given? Three,
100.
who all got the licenses? Four, who is the adjudicating authority which gave the licenses? Five, was the allocation of licenses in what one can call like a rush? You know, like give it out in one go. Take advantage of Gavai's order. Just give it out in one go. Now, court comes and says, we agree there's something fundamentally wrong in Gavai's decision, which of course Suryakant will not say, Justice Suryakant, but it's an acknowledgement. What happens to all those licenses? If you care about the Aravalis,
I think after 21st Jan, hearing this question, now that you've raised it, Arnab, will be there on 21st Jan.
It is the most important question. But you know, they may start the work. If the court does not clarify now, then what happens?
If in this month something happens and if the hills, if something starts happening,
because those guys are not going to wait. They are going to go with the issue of the order. We must ask those who are... Yes, yes.
On the issue of new licenses that you ask, you know, the Gavai order said that while the definition they are, changing of what is a mountain of 100 meters, they also said that there is something called MPSM, Management Plan for Sustainable Mining. Till that comes, no new licenses can be given.
No,
so obviously the government...
But license, the government says that on 24th. I know that government will not give licenses on 25th. I believe the government. But what happens to what was given between the 20th of November and the 24th when that statement...
But that assurance was there in the court also. So obviously the government is in breach of that understanding.
Which government? The Rajasthan government?
The Rajasthan government.
So why did the Rajasthan government knowingly breach, or why did the Rajasthan government do a license rush? We want the Rajasthan government to answer. Our questions are to the Rajasthan government. How many licenses were given? Otherwise, this is an eyewash.
About 100 licenses, 100 plus.
That means you gave about, if you take it, 4 licenses per day. If I put it all together, average. Why were they given?
This has happened over a fortnight from December 2 to December 18.
And if you notice, Abhishek, look at the dates. In the period post 1st of December till the 20th of December, when the maximum questions began to be raised, when Republic came in, the more the questions were asked in the public domain, the more licenses were given out. So there was somebody saying, hey, listen, this is all going to come under question. Yellow, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Why should it be given like that? Is that a way to give away something which is under public scrutiny? Was the Rajasthan government not aware that there was an ongoing public conversation on the sea? I am not interested in the legal technicalities. I request the Honorable Court to make it clear that the decisions regarding the giving of licenses which were given between the 20th of November Supreme Court verdict and the clarification by the government are also put in abeyance. If that happens, I'm fine. If that doesn't happen, I'm not convinced.
I presume on the 21st Jan, Arnab, they are going to take a decision on that. Well, if this question is put before them.
But then what happens to the licenses till then? Are they in suspension?
Not yet.
So we don't know.
We don't know.
Because nothing has happened.
Shouldn't we know?
Yeah, I mean, that...
Shouldn't environmentalists know?
the government needs to
You
answer
can throw
on
open
this,
to calls, but you can also
because as a corollary
ask
of
the experts
case,
this question.
Yes.
This is a question to be given to the experts.
Yeah. It's true.
And who are these experts? Like, who would be on the committee? Because the
People
court has
who are
not clarified.
activists. People who are activists, and I'm sure there are experts who will be there. I think the fact is that, we need to be clear. There are experts there. We will get some guests with us also. Are there any guests with us right now? Is MD
Yes, we
Sinha
have
with
two
us?
guests.
Former Principal Secretary Haryana, MD Sinha, are you there, sir? Mr. Sinha, Mr. Chetan Agarwal. Mr. Sinha, are you there or not here? Mr. Sinha, what do you think of the question which I've asked here? You see, my question, Mr. Sinha, is this, that if the licenses, if 100 licenses were given after Justice Gavai's order, should they also not be put in suspension now?
See, being an administrative secretary, I can tell you very clearly that any order or license issued after 20th of November is void, and the mining secretary of Rajasthan has to cancel these orders, otherwise he is in contempt of court.
Are you saying it follows naturally?
Yes. Having been an administrative secretary in Haryana for 4 years, this is how government works. If he doesn't cancel it, then the court has to take cognizance of it, and he will be in contempt of court.
But should the court not have clarified it also today? Because this is a...
In my opinion, the issue of the grant of the mining licenses has not been, it's been in the public domain. It has not been formally brought to the notice of the court. In my opinion, the court did a pretty good job today, at least because of the fight started by you specially. They have at least highlighted the issue. They have asked some very pointed questions. They refused to listen to anybody in the court in defense or against, and they have asked some very, very pertinent pointed questions, to the extent also that the so-called expert committee appointed by them in reality was not a committee of experts but just of civil servants. And they have rightly said that the entire matter in its entirety has to be examined by domain experts. See, if the regulatory ministry starts behaving like a mining ministry, then who will protect the environment and the forest?
Yeah, precisely. No, that is a point I wanted to raise. The reason I came in right now, Abhishek and Rhythm, watching this, I just wanted to be very transparent. I compliment the courts for revisiting things. But I think that we need things to be put in paper so that there is no possibility of arbitrariness.
Yeah.
That's all that we are doing. I think it's a great day for the people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We pushed back. People abused us. They said this is media trial. People are saying this is political. It's
Even
nothing. It's
inside
not
the
media trial.
court, they are saying it even
Arnab,
right now. In the Sengar case,
I'm
in the
so
Aravali
glad.
case.
I'm so glad.
Picking up something that nobody was picking up.
Well, I mean, environmental issues are people issues, and we will pick it up, Mr. Sinha. Without fear or favor, without concern for consequences, we continue to do that. I think you've been a great supporter in this. I thank you as well. Rhythm and Abhishek, you're doing a great job. I'll go back to the news desk. We'll have our edit meeting, and then we'll catch up in a while. Thank you very much, both of you. Please take it forward. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So MD Sinha, I want to continue with you because I think what you said is extremely appropriate.
See, government's work on 20th of November, the court made certain orders. In the orders also was included that no mining licenses will be granted until the sustainable management plan, mining plan is made. Let's not go into that order now because a lot of water has flown down the Ganges over that. From